Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for January 12th, 2022. I hope everyone's having a fabulous January. If we add all those numbers together, you get the number 10. And the number 10 is a number of radiance and power and boldness and courage. It also can be pulled into the number 1, which is about new beginnings and things changing and opening. And I always kind of tend to blend these a little bit. So the number 10 indicates that we need to start over and completely let go and move forward with our lives. Don't waste this precious life. There are things that are, to be embraced, and those things that support your growth that are designed to inspire you to become your best self. Within each of us are spaces and places that need to be discovered. Wonderful places that no other person can touch or experience. That is the journey that the number 10 attempts to invite into our life. We cannot learn to love or to really understand love until we know who we are deep inside. But once that place is fully embraced and touched, there is something within, like a magic flower, that begins to open and bloom. Such a place cannot exist in a place of attachment to any elements that come from this time and place. It is something that is limitless and boundless. When the place of starlight is opened, experiences of suffering radically alter, and we become more whole and remember that this limited existence is something that is here to help us stretch beyond these narrow bands of linear time and space. The astrology today. The moon will be in Taurus, attempting to steady the ship until late this evening, Eastern Standard Time. This gives us a great sensibility and is supportive of cooperative environments. While we want to make things beautiful and tasty in ways that are fulfilling, we also want to have things in alignment. The Taurus moon attempts to bring us back into the reality. It wants us to look at what we have rather than what we hold as illusions. It is essential to not live in a false reality, but learn to cope with the present in ways that support constructive growth. It is important to learn to embrace what we have. Acceptance is a key to finding the pathways to healing and transformation. Later in the day, the moon will go into communicative Gemini. Expect things to speed up tomorrow. You just might need to have some new insights, and maybe those have been sorely lacking up to this point. And my quote today: can tomorrow come more quickly? How can we become less prickly? Too many moments pass us by when we seek outside something that we deny. No one wants to walk a path that is filled with hate, discouragement, and wrath. I find that keeping things simple is the place to be. That way I have time to be more carefree. Too much of life is about looking at the past, longing for an illusion that was never fate's cast. Instead of being fully in the beauty all around and allowing nature to support those things that astound. And my blog for today. Okay, today my husband participated in the pothole party, which happens about twice a year as our gravel roads become like Swiss cheese in the rain, snow, and ice of the seasons. It is funny how the same holes always show up, no matter what, no matter how much gravel or grading is applied. I am sure it is from the trees dripping down at certain spots and then the road getting soft so that when the trucks with their big tires go by, they begin to make puddles and finally big holes that can and will eventually swallow your car. I usually try to participate, but today I had appointments and so I am out of the current loop. But my husband always volunteers when he is here, and after 8+ years of missing the pothole party event, he is trying to make up for lost time with his enthusiastic support. I am so grateful to all those who literally put their backs into the effort. It is a beautiful thing about small towns and rural living. Everyone pulls together and keeps an eye on each other. Over the holidays, we had guests, and some took a walk on the road just below our property to walk off all the yummy food that naturally follows the holidays. Neighbors would stop their cars and ask if they needed help or if they knew where they were going. It is, of course, the neighbors and owners making sure that there are no odd or unusual people in the area that should not be there. And our neighborhood is better than the police. I really think that. And it really should be that way. When neighbors support neighbors, then there is more peace and quiet. Everyone out here has chosen to be here because of wanting a particular lifestyle and appreciating nature at its finest. Living out here has its pluses and minuses. The plus is that it is gorgeous, natural, and there are healthy environments that support the wildlife. People are helpful and kind, down to earth, and skilled in a variety of ways. The downside is that there is always something that needs to be done. Trees fall down, roads need mending, brush needs to be cleared, fire prevention is essential. Many are off the grid, therefore, shit happens and you need help in desperate moments. My joke is that it is impossible to keep the outside outside. It is a futile effort regardless of making rules like take your shoes off at the front door or take your clothes off if they are soaking wet and filthy. On many levels, when I lived in Utah near Liberty Park, life was so easy. Restaurants were right there, tennis was around the corner, and Home Depot was 10 minutes away. Now, everything requires planning, lists, and schedules because all those things are not remotely close by. But somehow it works. I eat better and healthier with my organic garden. I love cooking and finally have time and excuses to cook. Overall, I'm more clearly domestic than I have ever been. I sit in the hot tub at night and watch the stars and planets move around. I see the space station actually go overhead and notice the planes heading up the coast or to Asia. I wonder at those that sit on those planes if they look down and question who lives down there. With life comes changes. I never would have believed that I would be in this place at this time in my life. I never would have believed that I would be working this hard on a daily basis and somehow be happier and more content. I never would have believed that I could be as calm and content as I feel at this time and recognize that the agendas of others have nothing to do with me. Age is a beautiful thing. It accepts this moment without grasping or clinging. It recognizes that all things are born, live, and will die. It sees this moment as precious and allows time to slow and sometimes even stop. And the history of the past, while a good story, is just one or more chapters in a life that found fulfillment in the moments of wandering and wondering. Thanks, everyone.